Okay, I'm going to be making crock-pot sausage, cabbage, and apples and onions. So I'm using this chicken hardwood smoked sausage. That is 13 ounces of sausage. And I have 2 heads of red cabbage here. I'm not sure if I'm going to use both heads. I have a pretty big crock pot now, so I might use both heads. I have 4 onions and 8 apples, and I'm going to also be using garlic and herbs, spices, and not sure what else. We'll figure it out. So let's get to cooking. I'm going to start out with chopping my first head of cabbage here. You want to peel back any bad leaves. Okay, so let's get to cutting this cabbage. We're going to start by cutting along the side like that. And we're going to cut it in to large chunks and add it to our crock pot. I'm probably only going to need 1 head of cabbage, but we got another one just in case. So now you can cut off these sides. Yeah, it looks like 1 head's gonna be good. Okay, now we can cut up our sausage. Yum sausage. I'm gonna use a serrated knife for this. I think it will be better. Cutting it at an angle. I don't know if you can see me cutting here, but I cut the sausage at an angle and put it in the crock pot. I wish I would have gotten 2 sausages, but I only got 1. I would recommend, if you have a large crock pot like I do, to get 2 sausages. Okay. Now I guess I'll add the apples. So I'm going to leave the skins on because it's just more fiber. And I'm going to cut them into bite-sized chunks. I'm using Granny Smith apples. You could really use whatever apple you like best, but I decided to use Granny Smith apples because they're kind of sour. They got a sour flavor. And I'm going to stop there and get some onions in before we get any more apples in. So we only got 3 apples in. Let's do 3 onions now. And then we will see how much we can fit in. We'll try and have an even ratio of apples to onions unless we run out of onions first. Okay, I think I'm going to try and fit a couple more apples in there. So we're going to do 3 onions and 5 apples. Okay, so there's all the fruit and vegetables so far. Okay, so now we need to add some garlic. I'm going to use the rest of this bulb of garlic I used the other day, so let's see how many cloves we have here. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cloves of garlic. So I'm gonna break those up and coarsely chop those. Now this would also go great with beer, but I don't have any beer, so I'm gonna use chicken stock instead, or not chicken stock, chicken bouillon. Go better with chicken stock, but I don't have that either. You could also use apple cider or apple juice. I'm just gonna coarsely chop these, so no need to make them too small, because it'll be nice to have large chunks of garlic in our, I guess this will be kind of like a stew. That's probably good there. And add all that garlic to the crock pot. Okay, now I'm going to turn you to the crock pot, and we're going to add about 1/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar. I'm going to add 3 cubes of chicken bouillon, and I'm not going to be adding any salt until I can taste it to see if it needs any salt, because we are using this chicken bouillon in here. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of cloves. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of allspice. I'm going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of juniper berries. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of mixed black pepper and red or pink peppercorns. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of orange peel. And now we need some brown sugar. I'm going to add 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar. Now I'm going to add 2 of these probably 12-ounce cups of water. I'm going to try and mix it up in here. Probably won't mix up very well until it starts really cooking down. I'm just going to try and get a little more distributed in there. And I also need some butter. So we're going to use about 4 tablespoons of butter in there. And I want to get that down in there so the lid doesn't get covered in butter. So we'll put our lid on and put it on high and let it cook until the cabbage and the apples and the onions are all tender. Okay, we're gonna mix this up here, see how it's doing. It's looking good so far, smelling good. Yum. That smells so good. Can't wait to eat that for dinner. In fact, I'm starving. I might have to have a snack before dinner. I haven't had lunch yet today, so I think I'm gonna need a snack or something before dinner. But yeah, that looks delicious. Still needs a while longer before it's ready. Okay, so the cabbage and apples is coming along really nicely. I want to check and see if there's enough salt. I'm gonna try one of these apples first and try the cabbage. I think it might need just a bit more salt. Cabbage is definitely not cooked yet. Cabbage is very flavorful though. I'm gonna try some of this broth too. I want to see if it needs anything. The broth tastes good. I think I could just use like a hint more salt. Oh, I have a great idea. So you could add salt, but I have this leftover pickle juice that I've been keeping in my fridge because sometimes I just like to drink pickle juice. But I think I'm going to add the pickle juice to the cabbage, and that will give it a little salt and a little like vinegary flavor too. And I'll give it like some dill flavor in there too. So if you wanted, you could use juice from a jar of pickles, but you could also just use salt. Now let's give it a taste. Oh, that's so good. Yes, pickle juice is delicious in it. I'm so glad I thought of that. Genius. Okay, so now we're gonna cover it and let it keep cooking. Alright, let's see how this is doing here. It's smelling delicious. Still not quite tender enough yet, but it's smelling and looking delicious. I think it's still got a while to go before it's quite cooked all the way through, but it's getting closer. Okay, this looks like it's done. Yum. So good. Can't wait to eat this. Love German food. I need to cook it more often. Okay, let's get some of this in our bowl here. I want to make sure I get some of that sausage in there. Get some of that sauce too. I'm gonna have this with bread and butter, so it'll be really yummy, like a soup. Yum. Can't wait to eat it.